Joining me this morning is Verne Brummell from the Fitchburg Historical Society, and he's here to talk about rails, which is pretty cool. There was lots of rails back in the history of Fitchburg, and you're going to break them down for us today, kind of a general overview. So thanks for joining us, and
You're welcome.
the Historical Society is full of great stuff out there, but the rails system in Fitchburg was something else.
Yes, it was. We still have one active rail line left, and there was once three separate lines, two railroads, Chicago Northwestern and Illinois Central, that served the city. And the one that's left was the busiest. The one that's still in place is the old Madison division of Chicago Northwestern. And at one time, that was a very busy line. It was laid in 1864, so it's been around for over 150 years.
Oh, really?
And at the beginning, there was quite a bit of traffic. In fact, by the 1890s, they had to double-track the line. And around 1911 or so, Northwestern built a cutoff route from Milwaukee to Adams Friendship that took some of the freight trains off the line, but it remained a very important passenger line. And until 1953, when it went down to one track, it remained very busy. My late brother-in-law, Richard Blaney, remembers during World War II, there were days where there were as many as 40 trains a day passing through Fitchburg, crossing Lacey Road down there. And it included troop trains, prisoner of war trains, and passenger trains, freight trains, you name it. And so the war effort, it was really busy.
That's incredible.
It is. And then after 1953, even though it's just one track, it was very busy, still with passenger trains. Now, the last passenger train passing through Fitchburg left in 1965, but the line still remained important freight line, and there was a daily freight train to Chicago from Madison for Chicago Northwestern until 1995, when Union Pacific took over the Northwestern, and they ran it for about another year or so. The last through freight train from Madison, Chicago left in 1996. There might have been a couple of trains in 97, but that was it.
And then that track was locked down for a while.
It was locked down. It was unused. It stayed in place. Now, the city of Fitchburg Village, Oregon owns it, but it lay dormant for all these years until 2014, when it reopened to serve the Lycan concrete plant in Oregon. So during the construction season, like during the summertime, there's trains running about 3 times a week, passing through Fitchburg, going to the north side of Oregon and serving Lycan, which is a very important railroad customer. And during the winter, they don't run anything normally. But there's really good grade crossing protection. They put up all these lights and crossing gates, so very good safety. The trains only go 10 to 25 miles an hour when they do go down to Lycan. But I'm really pleased to see the line back in service.
Yeah, I remember being out there for when Wisconsin, what's the train that's doing that?
Wisconsin and Southern runs under contract, yes.
To have that train parked there and see it go by was pretty impressive.
So I'm really happy as a railroad buff. I've been interested in trains since I was 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
So it's always been there.
I didn't know that there was 2 lines, though. You only seen the one. Yeah, like
There's
obviously.
actually 3 lines.
3 lines, okay.
Yeah. Double tracks.
Double tracks, just to have it parallel like that, that's pretty cool. So something you didn't even think, would have never known. So.
And so just to touch on the other 2 lines, they're both abandoned now, and they both are bike trails. But Chicago Northwestern also had a branch line from coming out of Madison that crossed through Fitchburg on McGee Road, Highway PD, down by the industries down there, the feed mill, the warehouses, and stuff like that. And that line went all the way out to Platteville, Cuba City, Lancaster, Fenimore, Galena, Illinois at one time.
Jeez.
And then in 1980, they cut it back to Mount Horeb, so it went out to Verona and Mount Horeb, and then it got cut back further in 82 to PD. Now, they continued to serve those industries until 2001. Wisconsin and Southern by that time was the operator. And then the last customer was a lumberyard that transferred their activities to Sun Prairie. So the track remained in place for a while, then was ripped out. And now when you drive out that way, you see that bridge going over the road there. That's the old Northwestern route through there.
And does that stay on that state trail then that goes all the way down to Dodgeville?
Yes.
I would say part of it at least is.
Yeah, it connects to the Military Ridge Trail.
Okay.
And there's like a park and ride outside of Verona and other places, and it goes all the way to Dodgeville.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the many good bike trails around here.
Right.
And then the other bike trail, the Badger State Trail, is the old Illinois Central route. And IC served Madison and Fitchburg from 1888 until 1981, and then it became a short line operation, and they still ran occasional freight on the line until the 1990s, and then eventually the track was torn out, and now it's the Badger State Trail. Now, Fitchburg had three railroad stations. The main one for Fitchburg was on the IC line along Went Road, just north of Highway M, and they had a two-story depot there with the agent and family lived upstairs, and downstairs they had a waiting room, ticket office, freight room, and all that. That lasted from February of 1888 until 1939. They tore it down, but the line remained in operation, but just for freight after that. And then they also had a little country depot called Stoners, which is where the line crossed Seminole Highway.
Oh, okay.
And the locals called it Beanville because there was a farmer that raised soybeans around there. They labeled it Beanville right on the shelter.
Sure.
So that lasted to late 30s as well.
Wow.
But Fitchburg also had a third station called Sign, and that was along the northwestern line that I began my talk with. And that's the spot where it was is pretty much where that convenience store is, up on Sign Road, the gas station convenience store.
Oh, sure.
Behind that is where the depot used to be. And that depot lasted till the late 30s or so. But you used to be able to get on a train there and go to Madison or Chicago or wherever. And that was called Sign, and it lasted as a station name until the 40s. Then they took out the siding there and stuff like that. But one time there were passenger trains passing through Fitchburg that went to Twin Cities, Chicago, Duluth, Superior, Rapid City, South Dakota. Perhaps their most famous train through there was the Dakota 400, which ran Chicago out to Rapid City until 1860. But until 63, you could still take a passenger train from Madison, Chicago, or Madison to Twin Cities.
Isn't that something?
It was pretty convenient, too. It left in Madison in the early afternoon. You were up there in the early evening, and coming back the other way was kind of the same schedule. But unfortunately, July 23rd, 63, they took that off. So.
Yeah, that is disappointing, but either way, it's kind of cool history to think about, and at least we still got a rail line.
We still have a rail line,
and it's active, so that could be a start to something. You never know, right?
Yes, I hope someday that we'll have commuter rail service, serving Fitchburg. That would be nice.
That would be pretty cool.
But the track is in place, so who knows?
You start somewhere, right?
Right.
And that's the easiest part. All right. Well, if you want to find out more information on anything that's going on at the Fitchburg Historical Society, you can go over to the library. You guys got your office over there. And you can check out Facebook, too. I know Winnie Lacey puts some things out on Facebook, and the board does as well. So.
One more thing. Go to the library, go upstairs to the Fitchburg room. We have a mural on the wall. Shows what downtown Fitchburg looked like about 1910 or so. It shows the old depot and all the industries and some of the still existing houses.
Yeah, that's the Went Road location, right?
That's right, Went Road.
Yep. So it's a pretty cool mural, that's for sure. So, all right, Verne, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you back on the show a little bit later on.
Okay, thank you.